Your credit score is just a number, but that number quietly follows you everywhere. It decides whether you get approved or denied. It changes how much you pay to borrow money. It changes the price of your car, your apartment, your credit card, even your insurance. Two people can buy the same car, live in the same city, and make the same money, but one person pays hundreds more every month because of a different score. Every 50 points changes the cost of life. At the bottom, the system treats you like a risk. Doors close, interest rates explode, deposits get larger, payments get heavier. But as the number rises, the rules start changing. Banks trust you more, loans become cheaper, opportunities open faster, and eventually the same system that once punished you begins rewarding you. Today, you're going to see every level, from financial exile at 300, all the way to elite treatment at 850. This is your life at every credit score. Let's start at the bottom. A credit score is not a measure of your value as a person. It's a pricing system. That's it. The higher your number, the less friction you face in everyday life. Better approvals, lower interest, smaller deposits, more freedom. Every level unlocks a different version of life. And over the next few minutes, you'll watch that transformation happen step by step, from survival to stability to leverage. And the lower your number, the more expensive existence becomes. A credit score between 300 and 499 feels like living outside the system. Almost every application turns into a rejection. Apartments ask for huge deposits. Banks avoid you. Credit cards come with tiny limits and interest rates close to 29%. Even if you get approved, the terms are designed to punish you. The same car that costs someone else $400 a month suddenly costs you $700. A basic loan becomes a trap. Insurance companies raise your monthly payments because they see risk everywhere. Every bill feels heavier. Every mistake becomes more expensive. At this level, most people are not borrowing money to build wealth. They're borrowing money just to survive. You start seeing payday loans everywhere, fast cash, instant approval, but the money disappears as quickly as it arrives. One missed payment creates another fee, then another. The cycle keeps growing. Buy here, pay here dealerships become one of the few places willing to say yes, but the interest is brutal. The car breaks down faster, the payments stay high, and the debt lasts longer than expected. The worst part is not even the money. It's the feeling of being locked out. Red denial screens, late payment notices, minimum payments that barely reduce the balance. No matter how hard you work, progress feels invisible. And while life becomes harder, the system keeps adding penalties. Higher rates, larger deposits, more restrictions. At this level, debt isn't helping you survive. It's consuming your future. Somewhere between 500 and 579, the system starts changing its mind about you. Not completely, but enough to notice. The denials become less automatic. A few doors begin to open. Slowly. This is the recovery zone. For the first time, banks may offer you a secured credit card. But there's a catch. You usually have to give them money first. A $300 deposit might only unlock a $300 limit. The system still doesn't trust you yet. It's watching to see if you can handle small amounts responsibly. Even a 40-point jump can change what becomes possible. At 520, a car loan might still come with a painful interest rate. But at 560, the monthly payment drops slightly. Maybe not enough to change your life overnight, but enough to finally breathe a little easier. The problem is that punishment still follows you everywhere. Auto loans are still expensive. A used car worth $15,000 can end up costing over $25,000 after years of high interest. Credit card rates remain high. Insurance is still above normal. You're improving, but the system keeps charging you for your past. And progress feels painfully slow. You make payments on time, you keep balances low, you avoid missing due dates. Yet the score only climbs a few points at a time, weeks of discipline for tiny movement. But something important is happening here. For the first time, the system stops rejecting you instantly. The score reaches 580 and something strange starts to happen. Life stops pushing you away at every door. Not every door opens, but some finally do. A bank approves you for a small credit card. No deposit this time, just a small limit and a chance to prove yourself. The interest rate is still painful. One mistake still costs a lot. But after years of rejection, even a small yes feels important. Apartment hunting changes too. Before, applications were denied in minutes. Now landlords hesitate instead of rejecting you right away. Some still ask questions. Some want extra money up front. But for the first time, you have a real shot. The score climbs slowly. 592, 604, 618. Each number feels small, but each one changes something. The higher the score moves, the less closed life begins to feel. Car loans become possible again, even if the payments are still expensive. Credit card companies begin sending offers instead of warnings. You are no longer fully locked out of the system. You can finally participate in it. That is what makes this stage feel different. The pressure is still there, but the fear starts getting weaker. You stop waking up expecting rejection every single time. Momentum begins here. Small wins start building on each other. A payment made on time. A balance kept low. Another month without mistakes. Now life becomes less about survival and more about recovery. At 640, life starts feeling lighter. Not rich, not perfect, just easier. The bills that once felt crushing begin to shrink. The same car that used to cost $700 a month now costs $500. Insurance drops too, not by a few dollars, but enough to notice. Enough to finally breathe at the end of the month. This is the stage where people stop fighting the system every single day. Apartment approvals become normal instead of stressful. Applications move faster. Landlords stop looking at you like a risk. Banks stop treating you like a warning sign. The credit card offers change too. Better limits, better rewards, lower interest rates. Real cards from major companies instead of emergency options made for people in trouble. And slowly, something new appears, extra money. Not millions, not luxury, just money left over after paying bills. A little more savings each month. A little less fear before checking your account balance. The pressure that followed you for years finally starts fading into the background. The biggest difference is not the score itself. It is the feeling of normal life returning. You stop planning around rejection. You stop expecting punishment every time you borrow money. At 650, the system still watches you, but it no longer attacks you from every angle. The walls begin to come down. This is where the system finally starts charging you normal prices. At 700, the game changes again. Before, your credit score only decided how much pain you could avoid. Now it starts creating real advantages. The same bank that once charged you high interest suddenly offers refinancing. The car payment drops. The loan becomes cheaper. Over time, that one change can save thousands of dollars. This is where good habits finally begin paying you back. Credit cards now come with rewards instead of penalties. Cash back, travel points, better limits, lower rates. The system starts rewarding the same behavior it once punished. Mortgage offers improve too. A lower interest rate may not sound exciting at first, but across 30 years, the difference becomes massive. One person may pay hundreds of thousands more for the exact same house, simply because their score stayed lower for too long. That is the hidden power of this stage. The monthly savings are no longer small. Every lower rate creates more room to save, invest, and grow. Money that once disappeared into interest payments now stays in your pocket. The climb also becomes faster. A strong score opens better opportunities. Better opportunities make it easier to build wealth, and wealth makes the next step easier again. For the first time, debt stops feeling like a trap. Used carefully, it becomes a tool. The same debt that once trapped you now starts building leverage. At 740, the feeling changes completely. You are no longer trying to survive the system. Now the system starts chasing you. The emails arrive first, then the letters in the mail, pre-approved offers, higher limits, better cards, lower rates. Banks that once rejected you now compete for your attention. This is where confidence starts replacing stress. Car loans come with strong rates instead of painful ones. Mortgage offers become cleaner and easier. Credit cards now include travel rewards, cash back, airport lounges, and benefits that once felt made for other people. And the strange part is how normal it all begins to feel. Applications that once caused fear now take minutes. Approvals happen faster. Deposits become smaller. Limits become larger. You stop checking your score every week because life no longer feels controlled by one number. The monthly pressure keeps dropping too. Lower interest rates mean lower payments. Lower payments create more breathing room. More breathing room creates peace. That peace changes people. You begin planning further ahead. Vacations feel possible. Investments grow faster. Emergencies become easier to handle because your financial life is no longer built on panic. At this stage, the score is not just helping you borrow money. It is reducing friction across your entire life. The doors that once stayed locked now open automatically. Not because the world became fair, but because the system finally sees you as low risk. You're no longer asking for access. Institutions are offering it. At 800, money moves differently. The stress that once controlled every decision is mostly gone. You are no longer worried about getting approved. You already know the answer before applying. Banks offer their best rates immediately. Credit limits become so high that everyday spending barely touches them. Loans that once felt impossible now arrive with simple paperwork and fast approvals. But the biggest change is not the money. It is the mindset. Earlier stages were about survival, avoiding rejection, escaping bad rates, fixing mistakes. Now the focus shifts toward optimization, saving time, creating options, using money as a tool instead of a lifeline. At this level, wealthy people stop caring about small monthly payments. Time becomes more important than interest rates. Fast access matters more than permission. The system is built to move quickly for people it trusts. Business opportunities open wider too. Strong credit can help fund companies, investments, and larger projects. One approval can create opportunities that change a person's entire future. Luxury cards appear. Private banking offers arrive. Customer service becomes faster. Problems get solved quicker because institutions now see you as valuable. And yet the strange truth is this: the score itself is not the real reward. The real reward is freedom. Freedom to move without fear. Freedom to borrow without punishment. Freedom to make decisions based on goals instead of limits. At this level, your score stops being protection and becomes power. By the end of this journey, one thing becomes clear. A credit score is not a measure of your worth. It is a pricing system. The number does not decide if you are smart, kind, hardworking, or successful, but it does decide how expensive life becomes. Every 50 points changes something: your car payment, your apartment options, your insurance bill, your mortgage rate, even the speed at which wealth can grow. That is why small habits matter so much. One payment made on time may not feel important today. Keeping your card balance low may seem small. Waiting patiently while your score slowly climbs can feel frustrating. But over years, those habits begin stacking together. Quietly, month after month, year after year. That is how people move from survival to stability, from stress to control. The system rewards consistency more than perfection. People do not build strong scores overnight. They build them through patience, discipline, and repeated good decisions. And once the score improves, life becomes cheaper. More money stays in your pocket instead of flowing into interest payments and fees. That gap can change an entire future. The truth is, the system was always measuring you, every swipe, every payment, every missed due date. The question is whether you will learn how to use the system before it uses you. Because your credit score is not your identity, but in modern life, it decides how expensive your future become.